Hello, YouTube. So, I'm not exactly sure how the timing on this works, considering how this is all going right now. It took far longer than any 4K 60 stream I've tried before, even going to normal latency for the time behind the stream itself. Even though that took a long time. Like a minute this time, which is like maybe double or 3 times as much as it would be for a 4K 60 stream. So I really don't know how far this will be behind. But hey, it's going to be a great test of actual live HDR content on YouTube. Only announced today, and luckily for me, I already had Marilla's action just because I was a stickler about making sure I could record HDR videos on PC. Once I got my new PC up and running. So, here's hoping that the YouTube stream didn't start in the middle of all that, but yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very excited that YouTube is now moving towards HDR streaming, or has moved to allowing HDR streaming. Hopefully, other places start coming in. It'd be nice if Twitch supported both HDR and higher bit rates, especially, you know, with the backing of Amazon, so there's not much excuse why they can't have the higher bit rates than 6 meg, especially saying, you know, I'm running this stream at HEVC 40 meg, as I don't run every stream at HEVC, but now I can, and with HLS streaming coming to OBS and or to the well, you could already do it through FFmpeg on OBS, but to cut a long story short, it's going to be easier for the common person, much like myself, because while I read up on this stuff, I still could not work out how to do FFmpeg HEVC streaming to YouTube through HLS. But HLS is coming as a selectable option in OBS. It's currently out there in the release candidates. There's no straight up option for HEVC streaming just yet, but I'm sure that is coming soon. Very, very soon. It has to be. And that's not a guarantee, I don't know anything about that, but I don't see any other reason why they would add HLS without the introduction of HEVC streaming. Now, whether OBS will start introducing proper HDR recording and streaming support from that, who knows, but whatever. Anyway, that is enough of me geeking out about streaming platforms on PC and the encoders and all that they provide. It's Hellblade. I have a very few HDR games on PC. I didn't want to re-download Red Dead 2 again, even though that's probably not the best showcase for HDR. Neither is Hellblade, to be honest. It's okay, but I wouldn't say the PC version... Well, I can't get it looking too great in HDR. Cyberpunk on Thursday now. That will be some HDR-rific content. Or HD-rific, I should have just called it. We'll work it out. This is all a test. I'll work out my little phrases and puns as we go along, because I did not expect to be able to stream HDR content by the end of the year. But, yeah, as I say, here we are. So, right. Hopefully that is all coming through okay. Would be nice if... Right, let me just mute my mic for a second. The surprising thing is that was not too far behind. I just wanted to listen to my phone and see how close we were. Right, start new game, let's confirm. Let's have a go at this, have a look at it in HDR, just get some HDR content out there for day one. I don't know how well this is going to work in 4K while streaming HDR content. If my 2080 Ti is going to completely fall apart, maybe I need to turn down some settings, but we will see. Hopefully there's not too many drop frames.
Welcome.
Audio. Subtitles, let's put subtitles on.
safe with me. I'll be right here, nice and close so I can speak without alerting the others. Let me tell you about Senua. Now, her story has already come to an end, but now it begins anew.
What's happening? It's breathing. Dead. It's breathing. It's breathing. He knows she's getting closer. He can feel her coming closer. She's getting closer. They're watching. They're watching. They're watching.
This is a journey deep into darkness. There will be no more stories after this one.
What is she doing? Why is she doing this? They're watching. They can feel her coming. She's doing this for him. She wants to rescue him. He's already done. I can feel you coming.
Quiet. Oh, how rude of me. I never told you of the others. You hear them too, right? They've been around ever since the tragedy. Well, that's not quite true. Some are old, some are new, but they've changed. I think the darkness changed them, just like it changed her.
Can you see them? Over there. Why isn't she looking? Why aren't you looking?
He's in hell high. Look. Up ahead.
Hell high.
You see it too?
You promised you came.
Yes. It is real after all. She's finally arrived in the land of mist and fog. The place the Northmen call hell.
Turn back. Go back. Go back. It's not safe. Turn back.
Go back, go back, go
It's
back.
not safe.
It's them. They're here.
You see that?
This game's really pretty. The HDR does work fine. You know, it's really brings out some of the highlights. It's a beautiful game. Creepy as fudge.
The drowned, the sick, the slain. Here they lie, rotting in the fields and rivers of hell. But the dead don't always lie still here.
You see them?
This is not a place of rest.
You can't do this. Go back. Go back. They're going to do that to you. Can you see them? Can you see them? They're going to do that to you.
They're watching.
Stop.
Can you feel them watching? They're watching her. They're watching her.
You're so close to the darkness. Go back. Can you feel it?
What is she thinking? I can tell you. She's afraid. Wouldn't you be? You'd think she would get used to it by now after so many years. But the darkness, it just builds onto itself, growing stronger, towering over her. You might try and ignore it, turn away. But it's always there, just out of sight, where you're most vulnerable. It's like it knows that just enough light is all you need to see its suffocating power.
They can feel you.
You might think she's brave to go on this journey on her own, but it isn't bravery that drives her. Bravery only means something to those afraid of death. Senua's fear runs far, far deeper. she looking at? What is she leaving behind? I know what she's thinking. I hear her thoughts. It's not too late to get into the boat and go back. No one will judge her. No one will ever know. Oh, she heard us. There's no going back.
You can't do it.
Senua pushes away a world that conspired to cause so much suffering. There's nothing to go back to, and worse to look forward to. Why don't you join us? Maybe you too have a part to play in this story.
Really terrific opening. I probably one of my favorite gaming openings of all time. I do love it, but yeah, I don't know how well Marillis's action is holding up now with this particular part. I've certainly got less frames now
Focus.
than I usually would have around now. But hey,
Look.
Do not forget my stories, Senua. Because your darkness comes from hell, and your fate lies there. They say the burning of a corpse will take you straight to Hela's gate, but gods and the living will follow this path. You must leave the Isles of Orkney across the eastern sea and find a road that leads north and down through deep, dark valleys. After 9 nights of riding, you will follow a great river and will find a bridge covered in gold. The path to Helheim goes from there, across the river of knives that flows from the dark world of Niflheim.
all right. Nope. Sort of there. It's going to probably take a while now for me to work out now different things for optimizing action for live streaming now with this HDR thing. Because this whole thing has sprung up really quickly, but it's it'll be nice just to have something out there, and I guess something that is slightly underperforming just to see how it works at like a mid-50 scale. If I still had Watch Dogs Legion downloaded now, I would have went towards that.
They're coming. They're coming now.
Darkness is coming. Yearns for life. Hungers for it. Like a pack of wolves on a hunt. But she's not stopping. Not this time.
Can you see it?
The land of mist and fog.
He's in there.
The old fool was right.
You see it?
What was it he said? The river of knives across which lies the halls of hell. The place they call Helheim.
He's lost. He's lost. Where are you?
I hear you.
He's there. You know it.
There's no doubt about
He's
it.
lost.
The source of the darkness is in Helheim,
They're calling.
and the goddess Hela holds his soul there. Her dear beloved, Dillian.
Yeah, the latency to the streamer is not as bad as I thought it would have been, which is pretty cool to see.
What is she doing? Why is she doing this? Why doesn't she turn back?
Screen space reflections right there.
She wants to rescue him. He's already dead.
Just never been able to get this looking perfect on PC for not over blowing out the highlights,
She needs to save
the
his
specular highlights. So
his soul to be at peace. She needs to lay him to rest. He's already dead. She can save him. There's nothing she can
we'll just go with it as artist's intent.
Reach to Helheim. I forget its name. She forgets too. But she does remember that only the dead may cross it. That part wasn't so easy to forget. The old fool said there was a hidden path up to it. Let's see, shall we?
The Northmen speak of 9 worlds. The world of men they call Midgard. Sky gods dwell in Asgard. The gods of earth, harvest, wind, and sea dwell in Vanaheim. The good elves dwell in Alfheim. The evil ones dwell in Svartalfheim. The mountain giants dwell in Jotunheim. The fire giants dwell in Muspelheim. Niflheim is the world of ice and darkness. Only the dead dwell in Helheim, and that is where you must travel.
Also, hopefully, with YouTube now accepting live streams, this will push better HDR support on PC, because I know it's a bit awkward on Windows 10. It's funny that most of my HDR games seem to be coming from Milestone and sports games in general.
That's the way.
It's so beautiful, those specular highlights in the rain. I have no idea if any of the later Tomb Raider games are in HDR, but I imagine those would look pretty great, as in like a HDR on Windows 10.
Quickly, go on, quickly.
Guy, whatever you do, don't stop.
Should have re-downloaded Tony Hawk while I was still here too.
Get down.
What's she waiting for?
Do you know where you are? Where are we? Why did she do that? She shouldn't have done it. She can't go back now.
No, this is it. The hidden path.
He's going to hurt you. It's dangerous.
Don't kill me. I'm not one of them.
Don't listen.
I was just hiding. I find I live longer that way. Don't listen. I'll never let the bastards catch me again. Never! Wait. Who are you?
It's just a memory.
Druth? Is that you?
Around you now.
For my tales of the Northmen, they call me Druth. A liar.
He's lost.
An old fool. truth is my truth.
It's good to see you again. You kept your vow.
Guide you in this life and the next. I will tell you my stories of hell, if I may walk with you.
Tell me your stories again, old friend. I'm listening.
The runes seal the gates to hell. Focus your inner eye, and you too will see what's hidden in plain sight.
You have to take a closer look to see. Why isn't she focusing? She needs to focus now.
She needs to use her eyes.
Yeah, it always helps if you use your eyes, to be honest. Just the buttons again. It's been that long. Okay, no, that is the photo mode. Is this not the correct angle then? This is obviously the shadow. No, no. Right. Is it down on the D-pad? Yeah, that's that button. Right on. Let's have a look at the controls and see what we have now for the melee attack. Interact as X. Focus. Yeah, it's supposed to be just focus, right? So. Or do I have to focus on this again? Ah.
I can see one.
Hold it in your mind's eye. Find one like it to open the gate.
Uh-huh. I will. Don't worry. Don't worry, Druth.
Look towards the gate.
At least I remember that much.
The gate is open. Go through the gate.
Go through it.
It's dangerous.
Follow it.
What's behind the gate?
Where will it take you?
It works.
I spent 6 years enslaved in hell. But I watched the Northmen. Learned their ways.
I know you did.
You listened when everyone else laughed. My people paid a heavy price. Carry my stories with you, and together we will make the Northmen feel our fury.
Another voice joins us. She once tried to make them go away. Pretend they weren't real. But what good is that? When we are always here.
I won't be sticking with this for too much longer. I do want to switch to other games at least.
I guess it's the same with heights.
Let's get over to this
Stand on
next
the
bit.
edge. Pretend it's going to be okay.
I feel this
you
has been
know
enough of a
that
showcase for how HDR in this game is going to work.
Little
And has
step.
worked.
You can't just wish things away.
The world of the dead is ruled by the giantess, Hela, daughter of Loki. The gods feared her bloodline, bad on her mother's side and yet much worse on her father's. So, as a child, the All-Father cast her down into Helheim and gave her power over those who die of sickness, age, hardship, and self-slaughter. In all of the 9 worlds, only Hela can resurrect the dead. To Hela, your Dillion was sacrificed, and with her you must bargain.
gate to Helheim divides the living from the dead. Is that the face of Hela herself?
I really look forward to seeing what Ninja Theory do with
Goddess that rules.
the next Hellblade game, just with all that money behind from Microsoft and what they can do as far as like textures go and lighting goes with
She must find him.
the advances in the several years since Senua Sacrifice release. You know, and then how that implementation can go into the HDR pipeline and all that is... Oh, it's going to look fantastic.
Took him from me. I beg you, let him go. I'll give you what you want. I won't resist anymore. Just give him back.
Will I die here? Let's find out.
It's nearly over.
I can wait, hold on, controls, let me just see. Our fast strike is X, heavy strike is Y, okay.
Finish this. You can do this. Go again, down.
Supposed to die here though, aren't I? Yeah.
Yourself.
Maybe I wasn't. I can't remember.
A vision of what's to come. Poor Senua. The darkness does not bargain. It does not reason. It is rot. And now it has taken hold. It will spread towards her head, the seat of the soul, until there is nothing left of her All of her suffering will have been for nothing. It's just a matter of time.
Good old dark rot.
The hardest battles are fought in the mind. That is what Dillian taught her. With every defeat, the dark rot will grow and soon it will take her soul. But for now, at least, she still has control of her mind. And she will fulfill her vow. Whatever the cost.
He's not right.
Listen to me, Senua. The goddess Hela lies behind the gate to Helheim. To open the gate, you must first face the gods that guard it. The god of fire, Surt, and the god of illusion, Valravan. Spill their blood to open the gate to Helheim and enter the land of the dead.
Alright, so yeah, that is, I'd say I look at pretty much a good portion of what Senua's Sacrifice has to offer in
She has
HDR.
to fight two gods first.
Two gods.
Two gates.
And of course all this absolutely mental mind fuckery from all the voices. So with that said, right, so I don't know how,
Will she challenge
as of yet,
the
to sort out action for changing over stuff. So let's hope that this goes rather swimmingly as I try and move to the next game quickly without a holding image or GIF or anything. That's just another thing. I'm going to have to create some HDR GIFs, aren't I? Or something to work as a fill for switching. Huh. Again, I didn't think that would be something I'd have to deal with, seeing as I figured it would only be HDR recordings for now, so... Right, let's see how quickly I can get this over to the next in the test. Right, this... Oh, well, thank you for screen recording action. I didn't know you were going to do that, but hey, here we are. It's very nice action. Thank you for having it on screen recording rather than game recording. Unless I put it on screen recording, but I don't think I did. Anyway, whatever. Next on the list is Soul Calibur 6, which I've picked because it doesn't have HDR implemented in the menus. It is fully done through one of the text files, the Liani files or whatever. With adding the command line for HDR content. As such, the menus are in SDR, so they look incredibly washed out. Like, unbelievably washed out. It's a sight to behold. So, the HDR implementation, I think, is based... This is an Unreal Engine game, right? Well, whatever. It's based on just tapping into the engine's base HDR rather than an artist-implemented one, as far as I know. So, but even with that said, the... who am I going to go for? Sure, why not? Even with that said, the actual HDR implementation in the game itself is fantastic once it gets going. The UI elements, even inside matches, are still SDR and done in the SDR pipeline, but
A merchant ship replete with riches.
like this looks
attracts
good.
more chaos
This
than
looks
customers.
fantastic. I think it's
I'm sure I can do it.
just the way the materials look in HDR versus the SDR is so amazing, and this game is probably one of my favorite HDR implementations of anything. I'm sure that, well, because it is HDR on Xbox, so I'm sure, you know, the everything would have been properly coded for in the HDR pipeline during development, so that would have worked out really well. It's been a while since I played this on my Xbox controller rather than using my
Stand. Fight to your last breath.
using my, what do you call it, joystick, my actual fight stick.
That's great.
Victory goes to the last one standing.
I think this map in particular is a great showcase, just off the, with the dull storm, but then just the
No choice.
highlights to the metals and the various sparks and all that off battle. It's so good. And of course, I just tossed myself out of the ring. You know, it's how it goes. I may as well just be playing Overwatch right now and throw myself off from Rialto for how that went.
I'll do my best. Guide me. Getting teeth off. Just kidding.
I really messed that up. I wouldn't mind. I thought going on normal mode would have been easy for me for showcase of HDR, but I just wanted to show the ULU screen in HDR. But no, I've been
A
playing,
merchant ship
getting used to this
replete
again with
riches attracts more chaos than customers.
my Fight Stick. Since I can't use the Fight Stick in the Xbox now, having this on PC has been, you know, allowed me to use the Fight Stick and all that. So
Another.
that's not turn the difficulty up, or am I just now sucking terribly?
Guide me. I won't hold back. Not quite. Guide me. Try this. There. Guide me.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Battle 2. Fight.
I won't be on Soul Calibur for long because pretty much this has already showcased everything that's available as far as HDR goes. But I just thought it would be an interesting thing to throw in for this test, just with the mix of having to enable it manually and how everything else is still rendered in HDR outside of the actual gameplay. Good, good. I was getting my ass kicked. Hooray.
I'll do my best. This is. Block this. What? Don't get up. Watch over me, Mother. You can't stop me. Do you give up? It's over.
It's really loss. Okay, I'll take that. I think that's a sign that I should move on already.
And
But
bask.
there we go. Some good spectral highlights across the board in Soul
Mama, love
Calibur.
ya.
Alright, let's quickly get on to Dirt 5 and call it there now. The reason I picked Dirt 5 for this. So, Dirt 5 has some massive stuff going on as far as the way they've changed around the HDR menus, and the HDR was seemed completely broken at the beginning. So when this launched like what, like a month ago, 2 months ago now? It was pretty sure it was just before the Xbox Series X and PS5 when that came out. Is this ever going to launch? Hello? Dirt 5? Hello? Dirt, come on. Ah, boy. Always got to be something going wrong. No? You don't want to start, Dirt? Not at all? Not even one bit? Downloaded there, nothing. Okay. Is Dirt actually running in... Alright. And task. Okay. See if it actually launches this time, which would be nice. I've not played Dirt 5 in a couple of weeks, so it'd be just like it to be completely broken now whenever I would really like to get on it. No. Okay. Oh, it's... Nope, there we go.
All right, Ace. Some real exciting events out there for you. Of course, I only send you to the best events. It's my job.
So yeah, everything's knocked down to high just because that seems to be what works well now. So I've tried to get this looking okay. I think that is the HDR Paperwhite default. I can't exactly remember now. I'm not sure, but it's not been a very good menu for sorting out HDR, and it certainly wasn't at the beginning. So you know, this could look generally terrible, at least on the Series X. And I don't know about the PS5, but I'm guessing maybe the PS5 supports the HDIG internal HDR settings for at least the Xbox Series X that I've seen. So it would be nice if HDIG stuff would come to Windows 10 and PC platforms in general, but we will have to see how that goes. Right, now, so let's just do a quick arcade thing. So this is those settings for HDR, and I think it looks rather okay. Right, we'll throw it in dynamic. We'll do Brazil in the forest. No, we'll do a heavy rain. We will do it in dusk and set up time for 60 and move through there, and we'll do laps. Tell you what, we'll do 7 laps, give it a good race. We'll keep the grid at 6 and we'll put it at medium. Just need to help my ego after Soul Calibur 6 completely deflated it. Oh yeah, I should really change the class. Alright, so which class will we go for? What's the cross-raid class? What have we got in this? Oh. Start event. No, I'm not a big fan of them. Pre-runners, Formula Off-Road. What's in the Unlimited class? Alright, sure, why not? This will kick up some dirt and make things look decent. So yeah, like I do like how HDR looks in this game. I just feel that I've probably not set it up properly with how the PC works, and that is another way to another thing that needs to change the PC gaming with the adoption of HDIG or HGIG on both Xbox and PS4 or PS5. Well, on PlayStation and Xbox as a pair of consoles. Heck, maybe even Nintendo will get it in come their HDR console, if they ever do. Performance is actually holding up too well. I don't know if the performance has decreased in any patches recently, or if it is just because of the recording itself. So if this is coming through on YouTube, terribly, I do apologise. It's been working somewhat fine in any recordings I've done before, offline, so I don't know if the stream is adding any extra strain to the encoder on the graphics card itself. There's a lot of lag there. A bit of a messy start in these. If I hadn't deleted F1 2020 earlier on to make room for Cyberpunk, now I would have totally done that, because that is actually a pretty superb HDR showcase. Oh, I think F1 2019 probably had a better showcase with how nighttime lighting looked in that. This looks good still, like you've got the lighting, you've got those fireworks off in the distance, you know, it looks pretty fine. More slide than I was expecting out of that. Used to the extra heavy traction on these now. This is like you expect to have to turn in quite early, but clearly turning in early is just leading to more problems. Hello there, mate. Lights off for this one's really do look beautiful. I remember whenever this released, I saw a lot of people complaining it didn't look that great, but I think it looks fine. I think it doesn't look too bad. I remember seeing someone say it looked like a PS3 game, which I thought was absolutely absurd. You know, if the PS3, the Xbox 360 era looked like this, I'd love to see where we'd be now, but alas, that was not the case. Yeah, he certainly likes crashing into the ditches here. Even more than myself. Just look at those fireworks off in the distance. And the reflection of those on the large body of water right there, it's beautiful. Reflections of the start finish line and all these lights around there. I think a really good implementation of HDR. It's better. I must see if anyone's actually put up a HDR guide for how it looks, for how to do it properly on PC for Dirt 5 with all those different sliders that they have. Yep. That's quite a large stutter. Alright, I will take second. And I think that is a fairly good showcase in itself. If there was enough there lighting to show off how the HDR looks in Dirt 5. So, one of the retry option, no option to view a replay. Nope, right. Beautiful lighting again. I don't. Well, some of the car's materials don't look the best. I think saying it looks like a PS3 game was such an overstatement by someone to the community on it. Even if there are parts of the game I do hate myself, it's certainly not the graphics. Performance, yes, especially at the beginning, but at least that's got better now, even if it's not where I would like it. Anyway, that's another story for another day. That has been a brief look at HDR live streaming in 2020 on YouTube. Shocking! I can't believe it. It's really nice to see some form of service provide that. If I can actually stream Cyberpunk live now with that whole HDR thing going on, we'll see how performance goes on that, and then see what I want to do with that on Thursday. Considering I had planned to just do a recording of my gameplay on that. I'll probably play for. I'm not planning to do a full playthrough because I'm not particularly confident with what I want to do with that until I see how the gameplay goes and all that. But I don't think with the amount of nudity and all that in there, and with some of the other stuff I've heard, that I necessarily want it on my YouTube. I do want something on there of it, so we'll see how that goes over Thursday through the weekend, and what slice I pick out that I want to do on that. Thanks YouTube for putting in HDR streaming. It's really nice to see it in, and as I see someone finally push forward with it after. A lot of people expect. I've seen a lot of people say that it would never come because there just isn't enough people that can use it out there. But at least if OBS now that it's got HLS coming in the pipeline, that if they can get some HEVC streaming and HDR in there, it'll work out great. Like, that's another great thing as well. Like the fact that there's now HEVC streaming options properly that will be available easy without having to do a load of faffing about with settings is terrific. I'm happy to see it. Right, I am off. Good evening. May your future be full of HDR and brightness.